After my baby was born, I was in the thick of postpartum. I was sleep deprived, overwhelmed, emotionally raw. My baby had colic, and I remember one night she would not sleep. She just kept crying. And I was upstairs trying to lull her to sleep. My then husband, as well as mother in law, were downstairs watching TV. They were laughing and sharing a meal. And I just remember feeling alone, overwhelmed in that bedroom in the dark, trying to get my baby to sleep. I remember walking downstairs, baby in hand, who would not sleep. I took the child, I handed the child over to my mother in law, and I walked out the door. I didn't say where I was going. I didn't know. I just needed to get away. I was done. I got in my car, I left, and then I just drove. I just drove in circles. I called my mom at that time and I told her, I cannot do this. I'm not okay. And I don't think I want to go back home. And you know what my mom said at that moment? She asked me where I was going. Where are you going? And I told her, I don't know. Maybe I'll go and sit somewhere. Or I can't take it anymore. And I remember my mom told me, she said, go back. That baby is your responsibility. You are the mother. That baby is yours. Whether you have a husband or not, she will always need you. I had signed up for a partnership, for a helpmate. I thought that I was supposed to have support. But here she was telling me in no uncertain terms that no matter what I thought marriage meant, when it came to that child, it's on me. So as I was driving and contemplating not going home and whatever other thoughts were going in my brain, I went, got a salad, went back home, and I tried. I did what women have been told to do for generations until I couldn't do it anymore. And that moment stayed with me because it taught me this. The silence that we carry as mothers is generational. It's inherited. And we've been expected to bear it all alone. Welcome back to Fourth Trimester Voices. My name is Dr. Choa, as many of you know. Today's episode is titled The Legacy of Silence. We are digging into why postpartum women have historically been ignored by society, by medicine, and sometimes even by people closest to us. We'll explore the cultural, medical, and systemic roots of this silence. And more importantly, we're going to talk about what breaking that silence actually looks like. This isn't just a conversation, it's a reckoning. Okay, let's start with the cultural piece. Motherhood has long been romanticized. Think soft focus images of glowing women holding babies and husband in love with mom. There's sunlit nurseries, walking baby outside with a Mercedes-Benz stroller. But behind all of those colorful imageries is a deep, heavy silence that nobody talks about or shares. Historically, women have been expected to bear the burden quietly. In many cultures, endurance was glorified. Tears was a sign of weakness. I don't know. I'm in emergency medicine, but we rotate in the OB units during residency. And I remember moms just glorifying at the fact that they didn't cry. And their husband was like, she didn't even cry. She just pushed out that baby. Even my ex-husband used to talk about how amazing so and so was that she didn't cry and she didn't need medication, literally glorifying it because tears are a sign of weakness. Rest is a luxury. Asking for help, failure. And this runs deep. In Black communities, especially, strength is often seen as survival. We wear the label strong Black women like armor, but no one asks what that strength is costing us. Our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunties, they push through postpartum depression. They push through breastfeeding struggles, prolapse, anxiety, urinary incontinence, sexual trauma, you name it. They went through it, but they didn't put a name to it. They didn't have the language to speak up. They didn't even have the space. When they bled too long, when they couldn't stop crying, when they felt disconnected from their babies, they just kept going because that was what was expected from them. You get married, you have the baby, and suddenly your body is no longer yours. Your time isn't yours. Your emotions aren't yours. And everybody is looking at the baby. No one is looking at you. And in many households, it's still taboo to even talk about how hard postpartum really is. That's just how it is. My mother did it, and she was able to raise 3 children while cooking, while taking care of the house. Gratitude becomes the muzzle. You know what a muzzle is? That's what's keeping us, our mouths shut from talking. But here's what I'm noticing is that what we're really doing is perpetuating silence. Silence hides suffering, silence that kills. Let's talk about how women are silenced, not only in the home, but also in medicine. Because silence doesn't just stop at home, it follows us into the doctor's office. Most people assume that postpartum care is built into our healthcare system. Assumption, right? It's not. In fact, the US doesn't even have a national standard for postpartum care. There is no standard. The typical model, right, is you deliver a baby, you leave the hospital within 1 to 3 days, you have one follow up visit at 6 weeks if you're lucky. That's it. That's the care model for one of the most vulnerable period in a woman's life because postpartum care is bundled into something called the global maternity package. That means insurance companies pay OBs a flat fee that covers everything from your first prenatal visit to your 6 week postpartum check. So whether you go in once after delivery or 10 times, the reimbursement is the same. There's no incentive to see you more, right? You're just taking up clinic space. You're taking up appointments for other patients, right? Let's talk about what happens in that 6 week visit. How's your bleeding? How's your mood? Are you depressed? Let's take a look, make sure everything's fine, healed up. Okay, you're cleared for sex and exercise. This is surface level, guys. It's rushed. And too often it misses the things that actually matter. Postpartum anxiety, unhealed perineal tears or chronic pain, breastfeeding issues, loneliness. Let's just be honest. Many women, they honestly don't even feel safe telling their doctor everything. They're going there to get their clearance and they don't feel safe having conversations about sex with intercourse. They don't feel safe to talk about the fact that they don't want to sleep with their husband. They don't feel safe to talk about the fact that they don't like this baby. There is no safety there. I've had patients say, I didn't want to tell my OB that I was having thoughts of hurting the baby or myself. I was scared that they were going to call CPS, Child Protective Services, on me. So they said nothing. And guess what? They suffer in silence. And guess what? The system lets them. The system wasn't built for us, guys. Let's zoom out for a second. Why does this silence persist? Why hasn't the system evolved? because the system was never built to center mothers. It was built to minimize costs, to prioritize delivery metrics over long term healing, to check off boxes and move on. And it was largely built without us. Black and brown voices have historically been excluded from shaping maternal health policy, hospital design, research priorities, even the language we use to describe birth and recovery. Midwives. Midwives, especially Black midwives, were pushed out of the system in the early 1900s through licensing restrictions and smear campaigns. They stripped away community-based knowledge and care practices that centered the whole woman. And let's talk about workplace policy. The US is one of the most highest income countries, but doesn't offer paid federal maternity leave. That's not just policy failure, it's a message, guys. They are sending a message, and that message is you're on your own. Moms have to go back to work, even after weeks after giving birth. Stitches unhealed, bleeding, sleep deprivation, some pump in closets, some pump in dirty bathrooms. What we are seeing is the compounded result of systemic neglect, and it leads to preventable outcomes: postpartum hemorrhage, postpartum preeclampsia, suicide, heart failure, marital breakdown, unresolved trauma. This is the cost of silence. So, how do we change this? Where do we go from here? First, we start talking. We share our stories. We make noise. We share things with our OBGYN. We educate ourselves. We create spaces just like this podcast where our stories are heard and our truth is spoken. We validate the messy, the painful, the emotional, beautiful parts of postpartum, not just the Instagram version. Secondly, we change how we care. This means we're going to have to advocate for in-home postpartum visits. We're going to have to advocate for insurance reimbursements to cover pelvic floor therapy and lactation support. We're going to have to advocate for our clinicians to screen more moms. We're going to have to advocate for more doulas, more midwives, more community health workers as part of the postpartum team. And we must hold the system accountable. We got to push for Medicaid extension in every state. We got to lobby for paid leave. We have to demand more training for physicians who are qualified to take care of moms in the postpartum period. I built this company because I didn't want to wait for the system to fix it. I wanted to meet moms where they are at home and in the rawness of postpartum recovery. Your pain is not imaginary. Your exhaustion is not weakness. Your voice is not too loud. If you're listening right now and you're feeling like nobody understands, right? Whether you're pregnant or postpartum, I've been there. I've left the house. I've left everything. I've thought about hurting myself. I've thought about not coming back. And I still carry that. But I also carry the truth. We deserve better. We can do better. And it's going to start by talking. Thank you for listening to this episode. I really do hope it resonates with you. I want you to take this episode. I want you to share it with somebody, send it to somebody, whether it's a new mom, a friend, a partner, a doctor. Amplify this conversation louder than the silence that came before it. We're going to not stop talking. We're going to change how we care for women. If you're looking for somebody who gets it and you're saying, you know what, I just want to sit down with somebody who understands, who cares, I want you to send me an email and I want you to schedule a free discovery call. And we're just going to talk about it. Okay? You're not alone. You're not broken. You don't have to be silent anymore. Until next time, I'm Dr. Choa, and let's break the legacy of silence together. Are you navigating pregnancy and postpartum alone? Are you feeling overwhelmed by the lack of support? You're not alone, and you don't have to do this alone. With EM Care to You, I offer personalized in-home and telemedicine support designed to guide moms through the challenges of the postpartum period. Whether you need total on-call services or periodic check-ins in the home, I help women recognize warning signs and I support you as your advocate, and I am here for you the entire step of the way. I want to create a postpartum plan that's all about you, your health, and your recovery. Follow me on Instagram at Dr. Choa for tips, resources, and there you'll find a way to book me. All right? DM me or email me if you have any other questions. Other than that, I'm on all social media platforms under Dr. Choa, DrChowa. Let's build a village of support. Let's give you the hope that you need to get through this period of time. Take care. My name is Dr. Choa, and it's been lovely talking with you all today. Take care.